How do I know if I have a wrongful death case? Well, the short answer to that question is you may not know. You may have suspicion that the failure of another party caused a wrongful death. You may have a suspicion that something that the other party actively did caused a wrongful death, but you may not know definitively that somebody else's negligence caused the wrongful death. Therefore, it's very important that when you do have that suspicion, that immediately you contact an attorney who handles wrongful death cases, because that attorney, him or her, will essentially do the investigation needed to determine definitively whether or not another party's negligence caused the wrongful death. And that will include not only the investigation done by the attorney, him or herself, but also retaining all the experts needed to perform that proper investigation. And if it ultimately is discovered that the negligence of another party caused a wrongful death, there's a certain time frame within which you have to pursue that claim and essentially file a lawsuit against any party that may have been negligent and led to that wrongful death. It can be determined in a couple ways. First, when you knew that somebody else's or another party's negligence caused a wrongful death, or the time frame will be determined by when, through reasonable investigation and just reasonable care, you would have been able to discover that somebody else's negligence led to a wrongful death. So it's very important that if you have that suspicion that somebody else's negligence caused a wrongful death, that you immediately retain a lawyer, because the investigation that the lawyer does could take some time. So it's important that you get that ball rolling as soon as possible so that, number one, it can be determined that in fact someone's negligence did cause the wrongful death, and number two, that it can be determined exactly who is responsible for that and a lawsuit can be filed timely.